And welcome back to Terrafirmacraft. On today's episode, we want to finish up our leather stuff in the barrels here. By the way, we've got some more vinegar, so we're pretty good on vinegar there. So we want to finish our leather working. We want to do some building, I think, today finally. And then I'm going to make a new pick and maybe some ingots as well. So, by the way, oh yeah, and we're going to do some rock stuff. That's the main point of today's episode. I went ahead and went up to my copper mine, actually south to my copper mine down there. I should really milk my cows too. And got a bunch of rocks and stuff, but I also got just a little bit more ore, but I used up my pickaxe in the meantime. So I've actually completely used my pickaxe up, and I need another one. So, so what I'm going to do, I am going to go ahead and craft, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, yeah, that's easy. I'll just do that, and then I'll do that and make myself another pickaxe mold. And then I will as well, I will go ahead and grab that, and then we're just going to do one, or I'll do both of them, since I've got the other thing in there anyway. This thing, this will probably be my last ceramic vessel that I make, at least for a long time. So that's 2, so I need 16 of these, which is fine. I'll leave 13 left over. It's nice having the material all ready to go. Actually, before I light those, I'm gonna set my leather in motion because that's gonna take 8 hours. I want to get that going. So we've got these. This is from last episode. Now we put it in the lime water, got it to prepared hide or soaked hide rather. We got it there, scraped it. Now then we soaked it in fresh water. By the way, that used up some water too. Each of these used 2,400, which tells me that 6 medium hides each uses 400 millibuckets of. 400 millibuckets of the liquid. So we'll go ahead and put it in here and seal it in the tannin barrel. So that's going to, not sure why it's only going to give me 2 leather, but whatever. So I don't know, we'll figure it out. But again, the order is lime water, scrape, soak, tannin for leather, okay? Now let's let's finish what we were doing with that. I love how okay, you know what? One thing I always get distracted, guys, and I know that you probably have noticed. They're always talking to each other, and we're going to do movement, wander, yes, wandering, range, 5, done. Okay, now they can walk apart and not always be, like, talking to each other. That's great. Okay, so got the leather going. Now we need logs. Let's see, what do we have a lot of? We have a lot of these sycamores. We'll go ahead and just use a stack of those. It's kind of nice having this building still nice and open because I can just do that and walk right through it. I'd like to get to some mods here in the very near future. Is that going to light both? Yeah, good. I'd like to get to some mods in the very near future, but there's just some really important basic stuff I got to finish up first. So I think I'm going to go milk my cows, and then we're going to do some rock and stone type things. Now, one thing that I think most people know if you're watching this probably, by the way, we're getting really close to planting season again, and I'm sure next episode that's probably one of our priorities. I haven't been feeding the cows very much, but I do feed them from time to time. Oops. Very concerned about enemies, of course. Let's see here. I hate that. I hate how it makes you drink the milk just by default. Unless you get it out of your hotbar right away, which is not always the easiest thing to do. Okay, that should be fine. So let's go back up and fill our milk bucket. I might try building the bridge today. I've got a couple of ideas for that. The cool thing about not having to worry about stairs and stuff is that you can kind of build the basic shell of the structure first, and then you can kind of go back. Oh, I was worried about that. I'll be honest. I thought that might happen. My thatch above the fires finally caught fire, so I'm not surprised at all. I think it did help me last episode protect it from the rain, but truth is I was expecting it to catch on fire at some point, so I'll just put that there for now. And then what was I doing? God, I'm forgetful. Oh, milk, yeah. So let's put, where should I, I thought I had a milk bucket. Oh, yeah, here it is. Okay, finally. So easy peasy. And now I've got 7,000 milk, which means I'm almost ready to make some more cheese. Now, here's why it's important that we do our rock stuff today. I'm going to put this rock, I'm going to put it right here. Now, we're going to come back to that in just a minute, but there's a couple reasons why we need rocks. And, oh, by the way, real quick, the bush that I was missing was cranberry. So I've got gooseberry, and I thought, I do have elderberry, and I have cranberry, raspberry. The only one I'm missing now is cloudberry. So we're going to just reinstall that sign there. So those are, I'm literally 4 agricultural products away from having a complete set, which is really good. I've got, by the way, I went through between last episode and this episode, and these trees, what happens is in the spring, they like have a growth spurt. I think they grow slowly throughout the season, but in the spring they like get extremely growthy. So I went through and I harvested all of their side branches into saplings, and I put all the saplings in my little storage bin over here for saplings. I ended up getting 9 lemon, 7 red apple, 5 green apple, 4 olive, 4 cherry, 4 orange, and 2 peach trees out of that. And that's great. I mean, I will probably make an orchard at some point rather than just having them surrounding my hall, because I'm probably going to have to build around some of that at some point. But what I want to... You know what? I just realized I'm so incredibly stupid. I forgot to put metal in my pit kiln. Wow. Okay, well, the good news is it shouldn't be too hard to get another one. Okay, by the way, I got some of this poor native copper. I'll just show you on the map. I went all the way down to this other... Come on, map. Update. I'm not sure why it's not updating. Do I have to be outside? Journey Map is a great mod, but it's glitchy as I'll get out. Okay, there we go. So I went all the way down here, and this is poor exposed native copper. This is the one in the water. This is where we were mining successfully for neutral 25 unit copper. We started at that mine. We moved over to that one 2 episodes ago, I think, or yeah. I might try coming over here and trying that out in my quartzite and diorite area. Because I have a feeling I'll be more successful there. And actually, this area up here looks really good too. But for now, I just wanted to explain that. So I'm making the molds, but I forgot my metal. So let's get some metal. So if I have... let me just pull up a calculator on my computer. So I have 15 times 14 is 210. So actually, if I did 13, that would be 195. Well, 210. Here's what I'll do. I'll do 270 plus 3 cassiterite. So 210, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And we know that's going to be 3 bronze units there. And then I think what I'll do... Okay, and that's... I could do 2, 3, and I could do, so that's, okay, hold on. 1, 2 is 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 1 more cassiterite. So I'll do that. That'll be 4 bronze units. Alright, so that's going to give me 4 bronze, basically. And unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to just bite the bullet and create another one. I hate it. And it's really inefficient to do it this way, guys. In fact, I think what I'm going to go do is, I think I'm going to go ahead and make just some more molds, because I might as well. I mean, I've already got the hole dug. I'm going to use the resources to burn. Might as well make some molds. So I think I'll just do 2 more of those, because you can never have enough of those, and maybe 1 more of these. You know what? I'm going to make a water jug, because I think I broke another one. There we go. Okay, so that'll be good. So now we can at least have the auspices of having a fire pit that is useful. Okay, so, and we'll go like that, and then I'll grab a couple of these. And I'll grab 8 wood, and we'll get that burning. Oh man, I always feel stupid when I do things like that, but I guess that's kind of something that happens. I mean, what are you going to do about it? Anyway, oop, I guess I already had the straw. I didn't need the extra. Okay. And okay, now we've got what we need. I think I'll go ahead and place this one next to this one so it can fill up with water. Oops, where'd it go? Okay, there we go. And this will fill up with water eventually. They're not full right now because it hasn't rained since I put those out, but as that develops, then we'll have, actually that's perfect molds for that anyway. So let's go back over here, put our clay back, and then I will, let's continue where we were. I can't really do the rock stuff until I get the pickaxe. Okay, so here's our leather's done. That's great. We'll do this first. Okay, so that took up the same amount of liquid. So each of them took 400 each. So now that we have some leather, what you need to do is you need to have a knife in your inventory, and you need to right-click your leather. Now, unlike vanilla, leather in this game is much more efficient, and so what we do is it's like napping. We remove the negative space, but this time we do it with like clothing and stuff. And actually, if you really want to, you can go L if you have any eye like I do, and you can look up all of these recipes. Now, some of these are for mods, and we're just going to kind of ignore that for now. Although I'm really curious how this works. I'm not even sure how to make that, but I digress. So let's go to leather tunic. Okay, that's just like that. Okay, so we go boom, 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 and we got our leather tunic. Okay, so that was one of our leathers to make the tunic. And then I can just tell you right now, pants are really easy. They're just like that, just shaped like a pants. And I'm not naked anymore. Okay, boots are fun. They're like this, and then you make a little notch. It looks like a big old boot, and it's kind of weird shaped, but it is what it is. And then hat, let's see. Yeah, that's what I thought. So hat is just like this, basically. Oops. Okay, good, we're good. Now I have an extra hat, so actually I can make an armor stand, I think. Well, I have to do... I think I have to do, teach you how to do stone stuff for... No, I don't. I'm good. Okay, so it's just 3 planks and then 4 lumber. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. I think I've got some extra lumber and some planks. Except for I think they need to be of the same species. So we'll make it out of white, whatever this thing is. White cedar. Okay. 1, 2, 3. White cedar armor stand. Okay, let's, maybe eventually this will be up here somewhere. So why don't we put it up here for now? And what I'll do is, now you just do, I think, the same thing basically in regular Minecraft. You go like that, yeah. So if I want to do just another set just to have it there, might as well just go ahead and, because I've got this extra leather, I'm going to go ahead and go for it here. Okay. Now, and I've got a plan for what we're going to do with our leftovers, don't worry. But we still have 5 leather. See how far that goes in this game compared to traditional Minecraft? So there is our armor stand with our leather armor, and we will use that for decorative purposes and possibly to replace our current full set, but it's nice to not be naked anymore. Now, there's a couple other things I would like to build with our leather. So, again, if you do that, it doesn't really show everything, does it? There's 2 things in particular that I want to do. So there's the saddle, which is just like that. Oh, and it uses the Minecraft recipe. That's it says it's from Minecraft, but I guess it works just like Minecraft, so might as well. But it's just a different crafting recipe. So let's go ahead and make a saddle. It's kind of like similar to a mace head in the shape there. So let's go ahead and put the saddle in our. I would put it there, but I'm just running short on space. I'm going to put it in the drops chest. Kind of like these things on the bottom. They're not really drops down here. Everything else is drops, but these aren't. So I'm going to put the saddle down there because we're going to need that. And then the other thing that I'm going to make, I don't have enough wood there, so I'm going to go ahead and switch our woods to sycamore. Okay, so, oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, here we go. I think it's like this, if I remember correctly. Yes, okay, good. So bellows is 3 lumber, and then 3 leather in the middle. We're going to need this for later, so I'm going to go ahead and stick that right there for later. It's kind of fun, though. You can pump it, and it's going to be used for our forge. But since we're doing leather, I thought, well, let's go ahead and make it. Okay, so, oops, well, first of all, I'm starving to death, and second of all, I'm sure our bronze is probably ready. Let me address the starvation issue first, though, and we'll have some oranges. Oh, it's not quite ready. Well, good. Good timing. 1 hour remaining, so it will be ready shortly. Okay, well, what can we do in the meantime? I guess we can clean this up. Might as well get rid of this since it's only 1 left. Alright. We'll put that right in there. And I do have the 1 extra leather there. So, very good use of leather. It is marginally helpful in the armor department, but not anything to write home about, okay? Let's put our buckets away. I must run out of space. Let me put my buckets in here from now on. At least for now. By the way, no additional gems during my second mining expedition between the last 2 episodes. Or between last episode and this episode, rather. Okay, so I think I know what I'm going to do. So to get rock, there's 2 ways to get an intact rock that can be used like that one that I placed there in the corner. The easier way is to, and let me just do this real quick. The easier way to do rock is to simply use your chisel. And I will get to that in just a second once I make my pickaxe here. Because you're going to need a pickaxe for at least one of the 2 methods, and some ways both of them. And we're going to make 3 more bronze ingots as well. I'm going to tell you that you're going to need, one way or the other, you're going to need 16 copper ingots and 16 bronze ingots, and it can be bismuth bronze as well. I just like making ingots because I think it's a symbol of how well you're doing as far as wealth, like how healthy your situation is. So I'm going to put that vessel there, and I'm going to put my extra ceramic jug there, and I'm going to put these guys down here with those, and then I'm going to take this and make it into a pickaxe. Excellent. And then I will leave those in my inventory until they're cool. Okay, so method number 1, if you want to harvest a rock, you need to simply dig out and eliminate each block around it. So every adjacent block. And you can do it. I'm just going to do this one by hand, but I would normally make a shovel or grab my shovel. But since I'm demonstrating just one block, it's going to be fine. So see how that? I removed all the adjacent blocks. The full intact block popped off. Now you're going to need both types of rock. You're going to need regular rock like this, like these two. And then you're going to need the other type, which is called smooth rock or smooth stone. And that's, you take your chisel and you need your hammer and your hotbar, I guess. And you go to M until you get to this one here, the square. So it's highlighting the whole block, and you right click. See that? It changed it. Similar to in vanilla now with diorite and andesite and granite. And then you simply harvest it like normal. Except for I, of course, knocked it into the river. So now I've got a smooth rock salt. Got it? And I can do the same here. And I'm just going to do a couple, 3 of these. And I'm going to need a couple of these anyway, so I'm going to... by the way, you can only chisel some blocks. You can chisel them unless they're like... I think in like a cave, for example, if they're like surrounded by a bunch of other... or they're covered by other rock blocks, I think that you can't necessarily chisel them there. Because then you could like... see, the thing is, stone, and chiseled stone in particular... ignores the gravity functions, and so otherwise in a cave you could just avoid all cave-ins by simply ooh, that got dislodged, by simply chiseling all the stone around where you're digging. So that wouldn't be fair. So I've got a few smooth, and I've got the one well, I've got a couple in the thing. So once you get your rocks, you know, you can build with them, which is kind of cool. Like I wanted to build a chimney anyway, like right back here, and then have some chairs, and then I'm going to move all this barrel stuff down to a cellar. But the other thing is there's a couple of specific functions that you need your rocks for. So I'm going to make one of them now. In order to get flour and powders from things, you need a quern. So there's a quern base, which is 3 smooth rocks of some sort. So we're going to go ahead and make that now, like that, and let's go ahead and place that there. And then in order to get this to operate, you need a quern crank, or whatever, what do you call it, top? No, it's topaz. Quern wheel. Oh, what do you call that thing? I'll just look it on the wiki. TFC quern. Fortunately, I've got the second screen open to the wiki pretty much every time I play this game. And okay, it's called a handstone. Okay, I would never have guessed that. So we just type in handstone, and as you can see, you need 3 regular types of blocks with a stick in there. And I think you can use incompatible blocks, but I could be wrong, so hopefully I'm right. So we'll use the rhyolite on that because I just happen to have 3 rhyolite. And I guess if I'm wrong, I can make rhyolite quern base again. Okay, it doesn't distinguish, so I'm going to go ahead and place that there on the top thing there. Now, how do you use the quern, you ask? I'll show you. Let's take some gypsum, or let's take a bone, or let's take even some rice grain. Okay, so you get the idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click, and we're going to stick the item that we're going to be querning in the left slot, and then you carefully aim for the handle and right click, with an empty, hold on. I always struggle with this. Okay. Okay, I think you have to be closer. And that's an achievement there. So once it's done, it will spit out this rice flour. And then I'll show you what you can do with the flour. Similarly, with the bone, you can quern this guy up. I love that sound, by the way. Oops, we're querying again, apparently. I didn't want to do that, but whatever. Okay, come on. I don't know. I hope I don't destroy the bone. I don't think I can. Okay, there we go. Bone meal, too. And it's a little bit less than vanilla. And I think gypsum... I think gypsum will work. So gypsum, I guess not. Or I have an idea. What if I simply use the hammer on the gypsum? Ah, yes, gypsum powder. I guess I don't have to quern the gypsum. I guess I just smash it with the hammer. Yeah, okay, that's all I need for that. So I think I will put these back here. Just, I'm running out of storage space. Okay. By the way, I'm going to grab one of these buckets for something in just a second. Now, the other thing, now that's extremely important because you need that for a lot of stuff. But one thing that, oh, why don't I just do this first? Okay, so I'm going to take this bucket here, and I'm going to grab some water from here. See, so I've got a bucket full of water, and now I've got this flour and water. You stick them in the same thing, and you get this rice dough. So I'm making rice bread is what I'm up to, folks. Now I'm going to go out here and start just a campfire, like a cooking. Do I have my cooking fire from in here still? No, it looks like it's gone. I'm not sure where that went, but whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a traditional cooking fire, which is 1, 2, 3 sticks. And then I think I can't tell which chunk that's in, but I will make a fire starter and we will find out. I don't know if it's in. Okay, there we go. And then you just go like this, boom, and then that's going to cook up. And hopefully I don't burn it. I always burn it because I always leave it just like that, and then I forget about it. In the meantime, I desperately need to cut my vegetables. Even though we're almost to the next growing season, I do like to still preserve them. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick while my bread is cooking up. You can make bread out of any of these grains, by the way. And you can actually do a lot more stuff in the quern than I showed you just now, but we'll get to that in due time. Okay. I think we're good there. And then just some fruits real quick. And I really feel like I might burn my bread if I'm not quick about this. Quickly. Get all my fruits back. I'm going to keep my cheese in my inventory. I really like the cheese. The cheese, I feel like, took me such a... Oh, it's because I didn't have logs. I was worried about burning it. I'm so stupid. That's okay. Today was a very productive episode, so I'm very pleased about that. Let me just grab some logs. By the way, different logs burn at different temperatures, so things cook faster with hotter burning logs like hickory. That's a lot of logs, but whatever. I can always extinguish the fire. Or why don't I just take the logs out? Okay, so it is hot, and it's called rice dough, and its status is hot. And eventually it's going to start cooking. It's going to turn into bread. And then it's just a question of how dark do we want the bread? How crispy, in other words. Once that red line gets to the top. Ready? Wait for it. There it is. Okay, so right now it's very light. But you can keep it in the fire down here until it's the right consistency. And that consistency is going to change a little bit with what your character's tastes are. So right now it's medium. That's fine. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you this other thing that is that you need rock to do. So I've got this stone right here. And see how I've got a knife and I'm highlighting this top slab. If I right-click that, it creates a preparation space. You see this? So I right-click the knife on the top of the slab, and it's the same block. I think it might chop off a little bit or something, and then what you do, you can make sandwiches and salads. In order to make a salad, you need a ceramic bowl, which I guess I put there automatically. Salads are great, but I think for now I'm just going to stick with sandwich. So I'm going to put a cooked rice bread. I'm going to put some cheese. Now we have a cheese sandwich. I'm going to grab this. Wow, did that just decay that much? I could have sworn I must not have pushed D. I must have done something wrong when I was... Yeah, I must have done something wrong when I was cutting the decay off of that batch of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to keep the meat there. Let me just make sure. I seem to have done the same thing with the fruits. Or maybe I literally just caught the next day's decay amount right after I finished decaying that one. Oh, one thing I'm going to show you as well this episode about sugar in just a second. So then let's put the let's get a fruit on there, because like a balanced thing is great, is the way to go. So we've got bread and cheese. What's going to go well with bread and cheese? Maybe like olives? Probably nothing, but it's I'm merely showing this to you to make a point. So let's put olives on there. Olives counts as a fruit, and then let's grab a vegetable. Why is the orange up there? Let's put a tomato on there. Oops. And so that's a veggie. So we got veggie, fruit, dairy, grain, and then our meat. Now that is a disgusting looking sandwich, to be honest with you, but well, it's not that disgusting. I've seen a lot worse. Let me put it that way. Let's put the orange back in there. Are these okay? I really need to carve out the decay on those, I guess. Okay, fine. So now what we've got is we've got this prep table here with these ingredients on it. Now, these ingredients will rot on the prep table, but you can create sandwiches. Okay, so this is a food item that goes in your inventory just like that, and they are great because they, I think they decay less quickly, first of all. I wish I could just undo the decay on there just like that, but I can't. I have to. Okay, so they decay less quickly. They fill food needs faster. Where's my other one? There it is. So those are all good. And then I think it's just more efficient all around. And actually, I think once you start eating sandwiches, your health bar goes up more. Right now, mine's at 1032. And I'm not sure if that's because of my experience. I don't even know what all goes into that, but you can see that it went up to 1056 like right away. And I think it's just because it's, it's forcing you to get. Oh, by the way, there's a cooking skill that's associated with making sandwiches and so forth. But as you can see, all of my needs are met. Grain and protein are a little bit behind, but not too bad. So we got some water there. Our Douglas firs have finally grown. Those are going to be useful for firewood and stuff. And that is a pretty good thing to have going. Now I feel like we've really got the basic mechanics of the game down. One last thing I want to show you before we end the episode, though, is I want to show you sugar. So it turns out that in order to get sugar, you don't quern it. You seal it in a water barrel like this, and that actually produces sugar. And then we can use the sugar for some things. Okay, so let's go ahead and process these ingots real quick. Okay, so we got 3, and yes, I got to keep all 3 molds, and that's great. So I'm going to put these down right here, and we're going to need 16 bronze and 16 copper ingots eventually to process and get to the next technological age and whatnot. And so we've got 10 molds, which is great because I could easily find myself making about 10 molds at a time if I really got ambitious. But see, this food, it might take up a little bit more space in your inventory, but it's really not too bad. And it really does, it's really a better way to consume nutrients in this game. It's just, it makes, I think it's better for your character all around. So, okay, well, we're getting to a point now where I feel like we should probably wind down the episode. It's been about half an hour, so I think what I'm going to do is just make one last round about the property. And I think I'll hold off on the building until next time. Maybe I'll tell you what. Just finish this out because I don't do enough building on here. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this hut down there next to the cows, or at least get it to a point where it's functional, even if it's not finished. I really need to get going on my real bridge. 1, 4, 5, 6. By the way, we're not so far. See, that cow is going to give birth in August, and we're not even that far. We're in March, so we're actually just 5 months away from the cow birth, which is going to be great, because then I can start I mean, the cows are going to be a gift that keeps on giving because I'm going to be able to slaughter them, get their hides, get their, what do you call it, meat, and there's going to be a little baby cows running around. Obviously, it makes sense to slaughter the male cows. No offense to our male listeners, but, you know, it's just the reality of the situation. I need some flooring down here. I suspect that if I dig down, it's going to be rock salt anyway, though. Okay, so let's finish this out real quick. I think I'm just going to go boom, boom, boom. I think I'm going to put my door here. And I think I'm going to put a big old window right there. Okay, that's fine. Window, 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 no window. And then I'm going to do... Should I do a crossbeam? What is that? Pine? I don't have any pine, though. I think a crossbeam would look cool. I think I'll just do regular planks for the rest of it, though. And then I think I will put the other door in right there. By the way, I need to make glass. That's something that I've been neglecting for a while. I think I'm going to leave this for a crossbeam there. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, perfect. That worked out perfectly. And then, by the way, if you got your chisel on you and you really want to get into some fine detail work, now I'm not going to do this for every building because if I did, I think it would take up a lot of certain type of memory, I guess, that you'd really got to be careful about how much memory of that type you use. But if I push M to change my mode to staircase mode, what I can do is I can do the... Oops, yeah, that's exactly right. I can do this. Isn't that cool? Revealing that wood like that. Now, I wish I could do this in regular Minecraft, like vanilla Minecraft. So I've got this, like, augmented ceiling kind of thing going on. And I think that is going to be pretty cool. From an interior design standpoint, yeah, that looks a lot better than it could. And then eventually I'll do like a tapered roof on that. Maybe I could do thatch, or realistically I'm going to do wood. But I would like to make a cross beam there, and pretty much that'll be and then I'll do a floor, and then I'll put a person in there who's my cow farmer, and that'll be my cow shack, and he can look at his cows, and he can come out and play with them and feed them. Maybe I'll even store a little grain down here, you know. I better put this chisel away before I get carried away. Okay, so that is... Whoa. Did that fruit tree just grow there, or I must have planted that. Oh, and by the way, just real quick as I finish up here, let me just show you what I'm talking about. So the fruit trees in the spring grew like crazy, so I must have planted this one. It's a cherry tree. So this one grew this little extra arm, and what I had been doing over there anyway was just harvesting those little arms, as I did when they were in the wild, to get extra saplings. But I think I'm going to leave this one be. Future plans here include making a sheep farm and a pig farm, of course. Pig farm useful for food, sheep farm useful for wool. I really should get on the sheep farm, actually, because that's by far the most practical type of farm that I really need. Probably build a more of a pathway back to the treasure cave there. By the way, I put a pumpkin back in here so that it lights up a little bit. That's kind of cool, isn't it? All right. So I think we're making good progress. I'm very excited about where we're at, but I am going to call it an episode now. So I appreciate your tuning in, and I hope you found it interesting. I certainly did. Had a great time, as usual, but all good things must come to an end. I think we're going to be planting. Yes, I think it's nearly time to start planting. I probably want to wait another few days, but in the very near future, I think I need to plant. All of my ice is melted. It's a relatively southern climate, so I think I'm going to plant next time. So anyway, if you've been watching, thank you, and just remember, Professor Snuggles is looking out for you.